Yo, what up dudes? Today I will be going over every echo that's coming in the 1.1 update. Now mind you, most of these echoes are probably just going to be put into your set and not used as your main echo. Although it would be cool to see somebody try it out and see if they can find a hidden gem. And remember, these are the only ones on file, so there may be more. Maybe. But let's go ahead and see what we got. First up, introducing the Firebug. This one's actually pretty interesting and has two Sonata effects. We got the Molten Rift and the Lingering Tunes. But what's crazy is its Echo skill. When you summon it, it performs a coordinated attack, which means it attacks alongside your attacks, dealing fusion damage each time, which pretty much makes this like the Echo version of Mortefi, to be honest. Let's just call it Mortefi Jr. Overall, pretty cool aesthetic. Unless those coordinated attacks are really powerful, I'd imagine you just be adding it to your set. Next we got the Rio Movie Bird. Nah, it's the Dwarf Cassowary. I don't know how to say that, bro. The Sonata effects include the arrow and healing sets, and the echo skill is you can summon it and it tracks and attacks the enemies, dealing physical damage 3 times, which is okay, not bad. So yeah, nothing too crazy about this echo, but hey, maybe some of you will like it more than I do. Next is the Glacial Dreadmane, and I'm actually a big fan of this echo. It looks so cool, dude. Its 2 Sonata effects is the Freezing Frost and Moonlit Cloud set, but its echo skill is where it gets interesting. Transform into a Glacial Dreadmane up to 2 times in a row, dealing 134% to 214% glacial damage each time. When releasing this echo skill in mid-air, increase damage dealt by 20% when landing on the ground. Generate 6 icicles, each dealing 20% to 32% glacial damage. Hey, I actually said the percentages this time. It seems to me that if you plan on using the Glacial Dreadmane echo skill, you have 2 different ways you can use it, which is normally and mid-air. To be honest, we won't know until everything drops, but the 20% damage increase is actually kind of sizable. So I will say that there is a possibility that you could put it as your main echo. Highly doubtful, but possibly. Next we got the Lumiscale Construct. Its Sonata effects include Freezing Frost and Void Thunder, and it's actually got a pretty fire echo skill, to be honest. Transform it into a Lumiscale Construct and enter a parry stance. If the parry stance finishes without being attacked, slash to deal 346% to 553.60% glacial damage. Otherwise, perform a counterattack immediately, dealing 519% to 830% glacial damage. If the attack received is a special skill attack, interrupt the enemy's special skill and perform a counterattack, dealing 519% to 830% glacial damage. That was a mouthful. Dude, I can definitely see people actually using this as a main echo. Even if you don't get hit in your parry stance, you slash to deal a lot of damage. And if you do get hit, you deal even more damage than that. And if it's a special skill attack, I don't know if this applies to the bigger bosses, but you can actually interrupt the enemy's special skill and perform a counterattack, dealing high glacial damage as well. That interrupt the enemy's special skill and perform a counterattack is very important. If that works on bosses, people are going to use this. Like I mentioned before, we won't know until everything drops how well all these skills work, but just by reading it, it seems like it's going to be one of the better defensive echo skills in the game. Just by reading it though, we'll see what happens. The next one, or should I say 2, because I'm going to go over both of them, we got the Light Crusher and the Altered Light Crusher. The Light Crusher is for the Spectro set, and the Altered Light Crusher is for the Havoc set. Besides the aesthetics and these sets, the echo skill is pretty much the same for both. Transform into a Light Crusher that lunges forward to attack, dealing spectral damage. Generate 6, I do not know how to say that word, so I'm gonna call it abs. Generate 6 abs on hit. When the abs explode, deal spectral damage. Long press echo skill to stay as the Light Crusher, lunging forward and walking in midair for a certain distance. So not only can you use this as an attack, you can also use the echo skill to traverse the open world. Very cool. Plus the aesthetic for the Altered Light Crusher is actually pretty fire. Next is the Claim Bang and the Altered Claim Bang, which is going to be a little shorter because they both pretty much do the same thing. They just have slightly different aesthetics. The Sonata effects are the Freezing Frost and Celestial Light sets, and the echo skills, it pretty much just follows your enemy and explodes, dealing glacial damage. That's pretty much it. So with the exception of the name, you'll probably just add it to your set, to be honest. Next is the one we've all been waiting for, and I found out how to say his name correctly. Yue.
Freaking finally.
At least that's what someone told me, which is the big ass Shenron dragon. So apparently Yue is going to be replacing Dreamless as the best Echo in the game. And honestly, I believe it based on what the Echo skill does. Obviously, its Sonata effects are the celestial light, and this Echo is clearly built for Gen C in mind, since she is a Spectro user. The Echo skill is where it gets really crazy. Summon Yue to leap into the air, dealing spectral damage to the enemies and bringing forth Light Thunder. Light Thunder hits up to 5 times in total, each dealing spectral damage to the surrounding enemies. Then Yue spirals downward to attack the surrounding enemies, dealing spectral damage 2 times in a row. The Resonator equipped with this Echo skill obtains 1 stack of Blessing of Time every 6 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. When the Resonator performs Resonant skill, 1 stack of Blessing of Time is consumed, dealing spectral damage to their surrounding enemies. The enemies hit receive 10% to 16% more spectral damage per second over 6 seconds, stacking up to 3 times, and new stacks extending the effect period. The damage dealt through consuming the stacks of Blessing of Time is considered as Resonant skill damage, and holy crap, that was a mouthful. Okay, I'm gonna try to break this down. I'm assuming since you summon Yue that you can do damage alongside while Yue is doing damage, unless they just make you stand there while the summon is going on. It seems like Yue has 3 separate attacks. He leaps into the air and he does damage to the surrounding enemies, and that brings forth Light Thunder, and Light Thunder hits up to 5 times in total, dealing spectral damage to surrounding enemies. Then Yue spirals down and attacks the surrounding enemies twice in a row. So there's 3 steps to his attacks, which I'm assuming is going to do a crap ton of damage. Also, just by having Yue equipped, dude, you get 1 stack of Blessing of Time every 6 seconds, which can stack up to 3 times. So that's like an extra passive that does even more damage. And that's damage while it's consumed and damage while it's received by the enemy. So that's going to completely melt HP bars, bro. And I don't know what Gen C's tier is going to be, but I'm assuming it'd be like A or S. No matter what tier she's at, having Yue as her main Echo is going to put her even a step beyond that, in my opinion. Pretty much what Dreamless did for Havoc Rover. But yeah, those are the Echoes going to be coming in 1.1. A couple interesting ones. Yue is looking like it's going to be the new top dog Echo in the game. But if you guys have any opinions about the Echoes, let me know in the comment section. Do you think they're going to be good? Do you think they're going to be bad? Let me know. Thank you for listening. Hope you have a good day.